It is 7 o'clock. I'm calling the meeting to order. Before adopting the agenda, there's one item that I think should be dealt with in camera session, the feasibility study. The revealing of information after sessions. 11.5 release of information following a tender. That will be in camera. If there is nothing else, a motion to adopt the agenda would be in order. Moved by Hector, seconded by Roussel. All in favor? Against? Carried. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest? There being none, there are no presentations. For adoption of minutes, December 17th, 2014. Are there any errors or omissions? I move that we adopt the minutes for December 17th. Moved by Brian, seconded by Neil. All in favor? Against? Carried. 4.2, January 7, 2015. Any errors or omissions? Five, business arising from previous meetings. Request for letter of support for Université Sainte-Anne. I am asking a letter of support from the municipality for our project application under recreation facility grant in order to install an HRV heat recovery ventilator at the swimming pool. It will be installed beside the swimming pool and will remove heat from outside and heat the air as it comes in. This will give us a better air quality and lower the humidity, which will save us on energy costs. Can we indicate that you have previously given us financial support? Marianne, Director of the Sports Center. We're being asked for a letter of support. Moved by Rochelle, seconded by Hector. Is there any discussion on the motion? There being none, all in favor say aye. Contrary minded, nay. Carried. 5.2 financial request from the Clare Golf and Country Club for fallen trees. We had a presentation before Christmas which showed us the economic impact of the golf club on our region, and also the damage caused by the hurricane, which was quite heavy. And they have applied to the municipality for $11,000 to replace the trees that were damaged by the hurricane. I so move. In English. Is there any discussion on the motion? they have money, but they used the money they had to repair other things, and that's why they're asking for us to help. They have also put quite a bit of money into repairs. They're making a big contribution to Clare. This is the first time that since I've been on the council that we're giving money to the golf club. In this case, I think this is an appropriate way to help them. And they bring a lot of money into Clare. Is there any further discussion? Are you ready for the vote? All in favor? Against? The motion has carried. Warden's activity report. If I can find it on my computer. I was not very busy, especially because of the holidays, but on the 22nd there was the banquet with students in medicine. So every Christmas we have that. It was at the Cuisine Robichaud. There were a number of doctors. Jeannette was there. It was a good occasion. Some people said this was the best one yet. There was a lot of discussion with the warden from Digby as well. It was really a good event. We try to work closely with Digby for the Weymouth Centre, so we invite them too. So on the 28th of December there was a meeting with myself and Dr. Dow with David Nurse. He is what you could call a headhunter, someone you can use his services to find doctors. He came not to help us find doctors, but he wanted to find out how the municipality had been so successful, and the steps that we took and what we do to attract doctors. It was more him looking for information than anything else. And so we've been doing good work on doctor recruiting.
Okay.
And that's a presentation. That was my report. Official statements from members of the council. Correspondence. Report from the Chief Administrative Officer. The sewer system in Meteghan. There's an application that was submitted through the Build Canada Fund on the 18th of December 2014. The work would begin at AF Terrios and would go to the Placide Como Road at Meteghan River, and it would have the potential of connecting 57 residences. If the application is approved, the work could begin this summer. There was paving that was supposed to occur at the same location, but the Transportation Department has changed that and have put a capital project instead. So this will not come and destroy brand new pavement.
The Rendezvous de la Paix, the cafe closed its doors on the 24th of December, but it will open again this spring under the direction of CORD, which is Social Enterprise Cafe, and CORD, standing for Clare, will also take over the boutique operations. One of the things that will be good is that it will experience to members, to give them basic life skills. For the people working there, the boundaries review, the application applications has been submitted to the Nova Scotia Utility and Review Board on the 23rd of December, and all additional information which was requested has been sent. Anybody who wants to see the applications and the minutes that regarding this can go to the Nova Scotia Utility Review Board website. Said the municipality of Clare has an organizational study. The study is underway, and the final report will be presented to council on February 18th at council meeting. From the staff, I'm pleased to announce that there's a new person here working for us. We have the Clare Center had hired Audrey Amar, who started working on the January 7th as patient assistant. Thank you. Are there questions? When will we have a meeting? When can you expect an answer regarding the sewer system, if it will be applied? It's hard to say. It can be 2 months, it could be 3. It's hard to say. They look at all the applications. The project that we submitted, all the criteria are respected. They are looking for a green project, but might be a lot of requests, so I don't know how much money is allocated to engineers. Indicate how long it would take after this was approved to start the work. They'd be ready to start right away if the project is approved, and it would be completed within 6 months from the beginning to the end. It won't take very long once they start doing the work. Are there any other questions? If not, we go to the committee reports. There's not many committee reports because of the seasons. Lester, did you have a tourism meeting? I know Robert is not here. No. Villa? There's no Villa meeting. There weren't many meetings in December. Waste check, Robert is not here. 10.9, the RCMP. Hector, do you have a report? Yes, we met. We had we spoke about the person we had recommended for the committee. Her check has been done. We talked about the provincial policy board. Connie had been there. They asked for $200 to belong to that board, and those who will go to meetings, we wondering if the council will pay expenses. They're asking $200 to join the association, and another thing that was mentioned at the meeting, if I can add, is that they were talking about the number of RCMP that are in the committee. They're saying that if the number of RCMP officers becomes less, if we ask if we ask that there be less members, then we can not have any more after that. So if you can go in a year or two and ask that we want more members on that board. That was discussed at the meeting. I understand their point, but we're supposed to have a 7 and we only have 3 or 4. We never have the amount of officers that we want, so I'm not afraid if we remove one, there's always less than we need anyway. So it would be one then less that we have to pay because we don't have them. They explained quite well how it works, and I think there was an example given at something like the villa that the percentage, which 1.6 or 1.4 for every person that you hire, they tell you that when you go into your budget, you have to look at all the sickness, the training, and all these things that are going on. So if we say we have one, this is what happens. We don't always have one. We just sometimes have one at part-time. And they said that they're looking into the subject. There's a study being done to see, because the question was asked, could there be some that would be like floating, that would not be attributed in Clare per se, but if somebody is missing in Clare, or somebody has to be absent for sickness, for maternity leave, for example, for 6 months, or somebody gets hurt and they're on sick leave, or educational leave, that could be 6 or 7 months also. In that case, could we have officers that would be hired that go and replace these people, but they don't really move here, but they would come in to do the work. But the question is, who would be paying for this? So there were discussions regarding this matter, but it's not as simple as it seems. If you look at the education system, if a teacher is sick, they have a substitute, but it is not as cut and dry with the police force because of all the training they need. It is true what they brought up, that any time if we need them, they will come from another place. If there is an emergency, they will respond from Yarmouth or Digby or elsewhere, as has been the case many times. So it's not an easy discussion, but I know that Brian wants to talk. But we had the discussion when we went to Digby. When they come to Digby, then Digby is short, so it doesn't create a good situation for anybody. The concern that I have in the public, and that you heard also, is that we're paying almost $1 million in our budget with a population that's getting older. We're around 8,300. Do we really need 7 members? And all the reports that we have received in the last years, the sergeant indicates that there are not that many problems in Clare compared to other places. In other places there's more problems than Clare. It's not a community that is in a bad position regarding police force. So that's the concern that I hear here, that we have. Before that we had 6 members, and I think we had asked for another 100,000 added on our budget to have another member, to be sure that there will be a better coverage during the night, because there were certain thefts. But the population diminishes. Technically we have 8 members because the province is paying
But this member is in Yarmouth with the crime unit. There are municipalities who have their crime unit person within their own municipality. Even as Connie says, if they go for training or maternity leave or whatever, there are other members that replace them. But last summer there was the concern on the part of the public and the RCMP members as well. We pay nearly $1 million and we aren't getting the service. If I'm not mistaken, they do an evaluation of the needs. It will come back to the council that they have 6 members and we receive the service for 7 members. The sergeant was saying that it was comparable to other municipalities. He said that in Yarmouth they have 18 members and they receive the same number of calls, but these are different calls in cities than outside of cities. But he brought up the point that Yarmouth has 18 members. How many does Digby have? I can find that out, but I don't know. At least we have made the request that the study be made. So to come back to a request on the part of the Police Advisory Board for $200 per year, and that we would pay expenses for meetings. Hector, did you want to make a motion? If we go back to 6, we shouldn't go to more. Do you want to make I want to make a comment. Even though we're studying the possibility of reducing the number of members, we all have always had good communication with the members of the RCMP, and they have been giving a good service to the community. And at the same time, the Department of Justice will make us do a study and make a suggestion. You know, we do have a aging population, the crime rate is going down, and so we should look at different options that we can make comparisons as to what is being done elsewhere, and could we have access to such reports? We need a motion to become member. I move that we support the $200 per year per member that attends these meetings. I think it's important to be member of that board. Is there discussion on this motion? All in favor, say aye. Against, nay. Carried. New business, electric car charging stations. We've been discussing this for quite a while. We spoke of it at the last meeting as well. It would be a partnership with the Chamber of Commerce. I don't have all the documentation. I had it for the last meeting, but more or less. The Chamber of Commerce will put in an amount of money for 2 charging stations, and they will maintain funding, but the municipality would put in about $1,600. So there's a motion. Would someone like to make it? I'll read it. Charging station for electric vehicles, 21 of January 2015. I move that the council support this cost for an amount not to exceed $1,600. Is there is there discussion? I think it's important that is to have these stations in Nova Scotia from one end of the province to the other, so that people can use electric cars to travel within the province. Digby already has a station, Yarmouth has one, and I think it's important that Clare participates in this. Do we give this money to The Chamber of Commerce? No. I think it's Pam who will take care of that. The Chamber of Commerce will manage the money. It's a project of the municipality. The Chamber of Commerce is just a partner. Is there any other discussion? We will now vote. All in favor say aye. Contrary minded nay. The motion has carried. 11.2 Clare Digby Energy Enterprise. We have already adopted a motion concerning the process of how to set up the Clare Digby Energy Enterprise. The three municipalities will get together to set up a committee, more or less, and we put Lester and Hector on the community to look at opportunities in the green economy, but to become registered as an enterprise, there are a number of requirements. One of the things the agreement should say what the percentages are, which municipality would, how much each municipality would pay, just in case there was something to pay for. So we have a motion prepared. The two other municipalities have already adopted their motions with their percentages. So if someone wants to make the motion, we'll have the discussion. Is there a seconder? Hector? Is there any discussion?
Just to say this is correct, but it has that would come back with the two municipalities. Would be happy to look at different cases to approve. Council will approve this before we sign, but we look at concerns before signing. But for now it is only the percentages that we are discussing tonight. That's right. The inter-municipal agreement has not been technically signed and technically approved by council yet. So the other two municipalities of Digby Town and municipalities have already agreed these percentages, so it's important that we approve this so that the project can go ahead. Did you want to add anything, Corny? Yes, you ready for the question? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against? Motion carried. 11.3 tax write-off. This is request. We ask council, it is a small amount that we want to remove, $3.21 because of a duplication of account, but we have to do it through council. I know it's a small amount, but we have to do it in council so that it goes in our minutes so that the auditors see that we've done this. discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying yes. Against, motion carried. 11.4 lookup for a seasonal hookup in Metegan. We have been asked by a resident who might like to develop his property in the future to put seasonal campsites on his property, and he's asking if he considers doing this, if he'd have permission from council to connect on the Metegan sewer system, and also ask what would be the cost. But we have that is cleared, so it's just asking council if they'd be ready to approve this, to hook up on the Metegan system. If there are no reasons to refuse his request, I don't see why we wouldn't support this. If the system can accommodate them. We have already looked at this before because we had a request a couple of years ago. He had asked the engineer, and if the capacity is there and it can bring people from outside the community to make some camping here, I think we should support this. So you can answer all of the questions that he asks. I think it's a good idea. Do we need a motion for this? I think for now he's just an inquiry. So I think what I have to find out is how many campsites he'd want to connect, so get other details, but he just wanted to know first of all if council approved this. So he just wanted to be sure that he would not do all the work before we approve. So when I have all the rest of the details, I'll bring it back to council. 11.15 or 11.6 set date for municipal council to meet with Gordon Wilson. He'd like to meet council to talk about different projects and listen to our concerns. Last 2 times I spoke to him, he asked me to find the date. He likes Mondays because it's easy for him. The group from the bridge, they would like to meet him too at the meeting, so it would be a good time to invite them. No, I don't think it's a good idea. That's a group to make an arrangement with me. I think he just wants to meet council, only council. He's trying to meet all the different councils and districts in his jurisdiction to give us an idea of what's going on and to listen to our problems or concerns, and it's a good opportunity to give him some feedback.